everyone, so my name is Caroline. I'm a lecturer in physics at a UK university. I post on YouTube every Monday and Thursday, so thanks for clicking on this video. If you're interested in student matters or university stuff or lecturer lifestyle, which I think is a very new category on YouTube, but if that thing interests you, please do hit subscribe. Today, I know lots of you'll be waiting to receive your examination results. Maybe you're still finishing up exams, maybe you've done all your exams and you're relaxing and you're just waiting to find out what grade you secured. I thought I could share how, when I did my undergraduate degree, so back in the day, how we got our degree marks at the end of university. Because it's not the same as how universities do it today. So a university typically in the UK will release their marks to students electronically. So you can log in to your university system and they will tell you what you scored for your modules and what you scored for your overall degree. That's not how it happened when I was an undergraduate student. So back in the day when I finished my undergraduate degree, to find out what degree qualification I had, I actually had to physically go and look at a notice board. So if you're not familiar with the British university system, we have a grading structure where as an honours degree you can get a first, a 2-1, a 2-2 or a third. And a first basically means 70% and above, a 2-1 is between 60 and 69%, a 2-2 is between 50 and 59%, and a third is between 40 and 49%. And that can be quite strange as a university student because I was used to having to get 80 or 90% to have a good mark in a test, and then suddenly coming to university and being told actually, you know, 50s and 60% are good marks, getting a 70% and above is very, very good mark. And actually one of my lecturers used to tell us that if we got 80% or above, that particular piece of work was worthy of publication consideration. And that's huge to have written something that has such a novel impact or is approaching a research area of relevance to other people that it might be considered for publication, or could be at the same level of something that would be considered for publication. So it takes a bit of getting used to that actually at university 50% is a decent mark, 60% is a good mark, 70% is a very good mark. But I'm saying this because when you go to collect your degree marks, or when I went to collect my degree marks at the end of my studies, they would list them on a notice board. So at the top of the notice board, you'd have the first class honours degrees, and then the list of names of people who got a first class degree. Then underneath that, you'd have the list of people who'd got a 2-1 degree, a 2-2 degree, and a third degree. And it just made the process really, really nerve-wracking. So the university would put up 2 notice board postings. So there'd be a notice board near the main University Senate House, and there'd be a notice board within the physics department. And at the appointed hour on the degree release results day, they would put up pieces of paper that listed all of the names of the people that had taken that particular course and what their degree classification was. So your name was going to appear on a piece of paper posted up on a wall at the university that everybody else was going to be able to see how well you'd done in your degree. So if you're already nervous about collecting your degree mark, this takes it up another level in terms of nerves. And I remember as a student trying to decide which notice board to go to. So for my accommodation block, because I was a final year, 4th year student, I was doing an integrated master's course. So I was in year 4 of my study, and year 1 and year 4 students were allowed to live on campus, and I'd elected to live back on campus. And I was living a little way away from the main campus in a really nice residential area up a hill. And I had to decide whether to go to see the notice board in Senate House, which was a little bit closer possibly to my accommodation block, or go a little bit further and go and see the one in the physics department. And I decided I was going to go to the physics department one because I thought my friends will be around that board, my tutors will be there, you know, there's a network of people, a support network there. But it's the weirdest thing because you're walking across the department knowing that on a wall somewhere is a piece of paper that says what degree classification you've been awarded. And then some of my friends had raced off to go to the one at Senate House, and then I sort of met them as I was walking to the physics notice board, and of course they'd already seen my mark. They already knew who'd scored what in my cohort. And it's the weirdest thing, you know, nobody necessarily wanted to talk to each other or make eye contact with each other because you wanted to let your friends see their degree mark themselves for the first time. And then you get to this notice board, and so it's a notice board with the bits of paper in the middle and all the students crammed around it. So when I took it, we had 40 of us doing the master's programme, and of course there was also bachelor students there wanting to see their bachelor's degree awarded mark as well. And then there's the master's list up on the board, and then you have the dilemma as a student. Do you look from the top of the list down, or do you look from the bottom of the list and work up trying to find your name? Because obviously the first class and the 2-1 degree names are going to be at the top of the list, and the 2-2 and the third degree names are going to be at the bottom of the list. And so psychologically, do you think you've done well and you want to look at the top, or do you think you're a bit worried, or maybe you think maybe you're going to get a lower classification? Do you start at the bottom? And I remember queuing up to get myself to the front of the queue so I could see the notice board, and then frantically scanning to see my name, to see where I featured, and then being so relieved when I saw my name. And it was just, oh, it was relief. You know, it was real relief, because you do these grade predicting calculators and you can sort of try to work out what grade you think you're going to get, but of course you don't know exactly how the final exams have gone, and you're always a little bit worried that maybe things went worse than you expected, or you just remember the bad bits of the exams that didn't go well. And then when you go to see that notice board, it's just a complete mix of nerves. And in my case, I was super lucky. I'd found my name in the place that I thought it was going to be, and I had the degree classification that I was hoping for and that I was incredibly pleased to be awarded. But can you imagine what it was like for the students and my classmates who maybe didn't get the grade they wanted, or maybe they missed out on their qualification that they were aiming for, because then you've got your name up on this board and everyone can see it, and you're trying to be happy, I guess, for your friends, whilst at the same time trying to process your own marks. I am so glad that universities these days release their marks electronically. I think it's so much better for the students to be able to see their marks quietly, to be very happy if they're immediately happy, or if they're sad or frustrated or concerned that their mark is going to now affect their future career path, to be able to process that without having all of your classmates around you at the same time. So if you're getting your degree mark this year, just allow yourself some space when you get that degree mark to process it yourself, and to take it in. And if it's not what you expected, just take a moment to say, yes, you're going to be frustrated and upset, and maybe worried and concerned about your future, but there's always different career paths, routes, avenues, ways to succeed. You know, there are other pathways you can take. And in physics in particular, to go on to do a PhD, if you've got a bachelor's, you're needing to get the higher end of the honours degree marks. You're needing to get the 2-1s and the firsts. And sometimes the PhD will still require you to have a master's, even if you've got a higher degree classification. So students who maybe get a 2-2 at the bachelor's but want to go on to do the PhD can kind of think, oh my goodness, what do I do now? But actually what you can do is you can do a master's course. So if you've got a 2-2, you can then take a master's course, and that can be the kind of bridging qualification that then gives you what you need to apply to go for a PhD. And the same is true with industry. You know, lots of employers will be looking for people to get a 2-1 or above. But if you've got a 2-2, you can maybe highlight the module marks that went well and promote that when you're talking to employers. Or again, you can look at doing diplomas, or maybe that 1-year master's course, or maybe you can approach different businesses that are happy to take people into the graduate scheme with a 2-2, and maybe you'll love that business, or if not, you can use it as a stepping stone to get into the business and the career that you're kind of ultimately aiming for. But yeah, if you've done your exams, I hope you're now able to chill out and relax. If you're still doing your exams, loads of good luck for the ones that are left. And once you've done them, don't overthink it, don't overanalyze it. Try not to ponder on them too much. They're done, they're dusted. And then when you get your marks in a few weeks' time, just allow yourself the space to pause and reflect before feeling the need to go and tell friends and family, so you can process what you've got first before sharing the news, whether that be good news or frustrating news or disappointment, because your close friends and family are going to want to support you no matter how the results have turned out. But yes, hope you have it for good 3 days. I hope you enjoyed my brief story about how I got my degree marks and having to go see the notice board. If the video was any good, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll be back on Thursday to chat more about student matters. So have a good few days, and I'll see you then. Bye.